Thank you very much, Amanda. Every year on 20th of June, we commemorate how the global community has come together to address the question of refugees stemming from the Second World War and the suffering that occasioned, and why it's important to address the needs of people. So in our own region, we know we have Rwanda hosts about 136,000 refugees. Many other parts of the world hold refugees as well. So first is to draw global attention to the needs of refugees. Second, that, they may be refugees. That doesn't mean that they can't contribute to your own society. So long as they're in your community, they are a resource. Their human potential is the most important value added. And third, in terms of the global commitments that countries have made in relation to refugees, are countries keeping to those commitments? So we have gathered today first to celebrate Rwanda's commitment to addressing the needs of refugees, but also the significant investments Rwanda is making in ensuring that refugees are now integrated into Rwandan communities so they can become active members of the society wherever they live in Rwanda.
So how does your organization or the organization you work for, how is it involving refugees in their solution, not just as beneficiaries, but as partners or even leaders?
Well, globally, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees is the lead agency in the United Nations system on issues of refugee protection, and he plays a coordination role in bringing all the other technical UN agencies in responding to the needs of refugees and working with the relevant government institution. In this case, is the Ministry of Emergency Management in Rwanda. Now, you can't do things without the refugees themselves. So as you could see today, we had quite a number of the refugee community leaders present themselves. So this commemoration, acknowledging of what they've done, the planning, the new studies that were launched today, which I think are groundbreaking. One, a study on financial inclusion for refugees, but second, a study on the sustainable transition of refugees into the local economy. I am not aware of any country in this region that had done something that close to what Rwanda has done. So it is for them, with them, and for their own benefit to ensure that refugees are an active part of Rwanda's socio-economic development.
So today's theme is about solidarity with refugees. And in your view, what needs to be shifted, or what shift it needs for that to actually happen, to be in solidarity with the refugees?
The first is that for a long time, for decades, we have relied on grants from donors to address the needs of refugees. Now those grants are dwindling because of significant shifts that are happening around the world. So in any country in the world where you have refugees or migrants or asylum seekers, there's no longer enough money to address all of their needs. So what you find is that the financial outlay for grants is shrinking. But meanwhile, they can be active members of the economy. So the discussion now is about what we do together to move the needle from grants to a different kind of partnership that looks at financing. How do we provide the right financial products that make refugees become active members of the society? What kind of relationship do we have with the donors? But also the intersection between humanitarian funding and development funding in ways that speak to the needs of societies. They are not parallel tracks. They converge. Refugees are about emergencies, but after the emergencies are addressed, you want to recover. Then you want to build back better. Then you want to prosper. So we need a global conversation on how you create this intersection to address the needs of refugees in a very comprehensive way.
And has there been a moment or even a story that really stayed with you from working directly with the refugees?
My goodness, there are multiple, Amanda, multiple.
Want to share with us?
From maybe I shouldn't mention the name of the restaurant, but some of the chefs in some of the restaurants here are refugees. Now we have the story of the young man who left here, went to the United States, got his PhD, is investing in refugee communities. If you go to Kirehe, you have a restaurant owned by a refugee that offers top-class food. So from being in the creative industry, in sports, in the economy, in IT, they are all over the place. And then you look globally. If you look globally, some of the best-known athletes, footballers, whether they are basketballers or soccer players, all grew up as refugees and relocated to third countries, and now they are playing for those third countries. So there's a lot we can celebrate about what refugees bring. What is needed is a mindset change, that they are not dependent on our goodwill. As the saying, went today, they don't need our help, they need the future. Can we help them construct that future? That's our role as a global community. And our work as a United Nations system is to work with our host governments, our partner governments, civil society, other development partners, to try to make this transformation in the lives of refugees and migrants and displaced persons come forward.
And in your opinion, what do you think the refugees themselves need to actually improve on their part so that they can be part of the solutions that they're saying that they are part of?
You know, it's not easy in the life of a refugee. You live a life of comfort in your home country to a life of dependence and on handouts. Most of them will not want to live on handouts. Most of them want to be autonomous. Now, many societies don't have laws that allow them to get out of the camps, for example, that allow them to work or to have ID cards. So if you create all those elements, you will find that they will be extremely constructive members of society. So the challenge is not on them. The challenge is on us. The quality of the education, the access to education, the financing for them to engage in businesses, to address their health needs, social needs, all of those. That's where the challenge lies. And if we do it as a global community in solidarity with each other, we will find that refugees will make the most amazing contributions to all of our societies.